Michael here at Home Health Success Academy, and in this video series, we're going to be talking about primarily, marketers, like finding marketers, hiring marketers, and what are my suggestions, right? So, especially in this first video of this series, we're going to be talking about expectations as well as how much you pay your marketers, right? Because this is one of the biggest questions that gets asked all the time. Now, before you go out there and you try to find that marketer or hire that marketer to put an application in your company, the biggest problems that a lot of agencies forget is that you should first have an expectations. Now, I'm sure one thing is that you probably already have a job description of what that marketer is supposed to do, because technically that is the expectations, right? So, but the thing though is you probably got that basic job description from somebody, some other company, or from your consultant, right? But that's the thing is sometimes as we have that idea, we have that job description, yet us as owners, as managers of marketers, we actually don't go through that with them and really look into the list and expect that to them. So what I want to be able to kind of do is let me just shorten that stuff up and tell you what my expectations are. So when we hire marketers, our expectation for them automatically is saying that we expect this much amount of places that you're going to be visiting on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. We expect that you bring this much amount of referrals, right? So here's my expectations. If a marketer comes with us, I want to first of all make sure that he's making a certain amount of cold calls out there. Because the truth is, we train people to do cold walk-ins because that's going to be part of your business. But to increase the chances or to lessen the whole sales process is making a cold call and actually being able to get into a meeting. So first things first is we want to be able to make sure that they are good and have the skills in cold calling. And that's something that we want. So what we typically say is that on a weekly basis, we at least want them to cold call a minimum of 10 places on a daily basis. The way we make sure we monitor that is we expect them to make the calls within our system, which allows us to be able to see the calls that they made, to at the same time as have recordings of those particular calls that they make. And it's not like we're going to monitor them all the time, but when we do a sample monitor and they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, then right there alone, that's a problem. Okay, so a minimum of 10 cold calls, meaning these are facilities that they've never been to. These are doctors that they never walked into. These are assisted living facilities that they never talked to, okay? Now, when it comes to expectations of visits, on a daily basis, a minimum that they have to visit is 20 different locations, right? 20 locations minimum, okay? And with that said, that includes new cold walk-ins, new non-clients yet, and at the same time is people that they're following up with, and also including places that they're already working with, okay? So 20 to 25 on a daily basis, all right? That's another expectations. The other part of the expectation is that we need to make sure that we expect that these guys are good at creating presentations, that they know how to present services, that they know how to be able to handle certain objections, right? Because you have to have that expectation. You can't just say, our job description of a marketer is somebody who's able to generate leads, who's able to, acquire and take care of the physicians, take care of the current referral sources to be able to find new locations. That's great and all, but you need to put a specific thing. One of the biggest problems is that you say that what you expect, but you don't actually put a goal. You actually do not put a specific number of what they need to do. So by us having that expectations, we know what the expect is. When we come in for the interview, we can say, hey, these are the job descriptions, but by the way, this is the specific expectations that we have. And most of the time is we're going to see marketers sometimes say, well, that's impossible. That can't be done. And I'm going to say to them, hey, listen, totally appreciate that you said that right away at this very moment. So I'm not even going to fight you on that. Have a great day. Interview's over. Because if they're already objecting to what you're saying on your expectations, guaranteed they're going to do that in the back if you never brought that up. And all of a sudden later on you tell them what you expect them. Right? So then we say, this is the amount of referrals we expect you to have. Now, just to let you know, when a marketer comes in, we're not going to all of a sudden say we expect this much amount of referrals on a monthly basis right away. We know that you have to garnish and you slowly have to generate trust with the community for them to eventually be able to work with you. So we're going to say we're going to need, in the first month, 5 referrals. Then the following month, we want us to be able to say 7.5 referrals. Then we're going to want to say the third month, we're expecting 12 referrals or 15 referrals by then. Because that's all that it should take. Because the truth is, if they are going to the places that you're telling them to go to, what your expectations are, within those 60 days, if they're following a real sales process and that we're teaching, if they're following the follow-up system that we're creating, they should start being able to generate those type of referral sources. Because one referral source can start giving you 2 to 3 patients a month. So all you need in your first month is to be able to seal maybe 2 referral sources or even 1, and that should cover that first 5 that you're supposed to expect in the first month. And then the following month, if you brought in an extra, you have 3 referral sources, you can get that 7 to 8, right? And then on the third month, you should be able to double that and get those 15. Because if you have a right follow-up process, then you're going to be able to make sure that you're getting what you're supposed to be doing. You also need to let them know how many emails you expect them to send out. At the same time as tell them expectations, just to let you know, once a week, a manager, myself, will be going with you in the field to see how you're doing with your presentations. And we want to be able to see a real presentation that you're doing. That's going to be expected of you. Another thing that's going to be expected of you is for you to be able to make sure that you work from 9 to 5. You're working from the moment you start till the end and maximizing that. There's a lot of marketers out there, they visit 5 places in one day and they think that their job is done. And they can hang easy at home, hang easy at Starbucks. No. If I'm paying you a certain amount of dollars, I expect you to do and use that for the whole day, right? So create the right expectations is what's going to allow you guys to be able to, number one, generate a successful marketing campaign. And then we move on to pay. How do you pay? Well, that's one of the biggest, difference. There's so many different payment structures, bonus structures. Do I give you a large salary or do I give you a base, right? For me, wise, the way I handle payment for a lot of employees is we start them at the base. Why? Just because you're getting paid $60,000, $70,000 at another agency, right? That's them. And if you like that pay, stay with them. But the fact that you're applying with me, if you're an experienced home health marketer, then there's something going on in that agency that you're not liking, and that's why you're applying with me. Now, you can make that much amount with my company, but you need to reach certain goals. So we always believe in starting off with a base salary. And my base salary for my marketers are always going to be at $35,000 for the whole year. That's your base. That's how we handle that. Now, with a base of $35,000 a year, we have an expectation of you bringing in 5 patients a month. And this is for home health patients, right? 5 patients, Medicare patients a month. If it was for a non-medical home care company, it will be the same exact thing. I expect you to bring 5 full-time, minimum 30 hours a week services for non-medical private duty agencies. It's always going to be that way, $35,000. Now, I can help you make it up into the $60,000 range of what you want, but then you're going to have to do something for me, right? Because what if you have a bad month? Am I supposed to still pay you $5,000 when you only brought me 2 patients? No, it shouldn't be that way. So, and what happens is a lot of people don't monitor these guys correctly and they start off with a salary, then you lose. See, the thing though is a lot of agencies, are just like, oh, this guy gets paid $60,000. I want to hire him because he can bring in all his referral sources here. No, it's not going to happen all the ways that way. Why? Because just because he has contacts, that doesn't mean that he has a structured contact that they're going to then transfer to your agency. And also, what if that marketer has what they call a non-compete clause? He can't bring those referral sources to you because then you become liable by the other agency and then they could sue you. So you should have a nice bonus structure. Typically, the bonus structures for what we have is the tier goes up. Let's say, for example, you can get $1,000 extra bonus a month if you bring in 5 more patients. right? So that means if you bring in 10 patients this month, you are going to get your base salary, plus you're going to get your bonus, which is $1,000, okay? But then let's say, for example, you brought in 15 patients, which takes you to the next bonus category, right? You get your initial base 5, then you got another 5, which made it 10, another 5, that means 15, right? So the next bonus structure is not going to be $1,000, it's actually going to be $1,200, right? And the reason for that is you're going to be able to make more. The more you bring in, the higher your rates go up. Now, let's say, for example, they brought in 9 patients this month. They didn't reach the tier of the 10, so you're still going to get your base. You're not going to get, per patient bonus. That doesn't how that works. You need to reach your goals to get those. But if they're making that, then they can get them to the higher place. I want to pay them for what they can do, not what they can potentially do. So you guys have to, in a way, find out how that works. Now, there's some agencies out there, what they do is they provide points, meaning they're going to say you have to achieve this much amount of points to get this bonus and that much amount of points for this type of the next bonus. So they'll put point system in regards to maybe a 5-point system for a Medicare patient, 2-point system for a Medicaid patient, 3-point system for maybe a Humana or Blue Cross, that type of a setup, right? Or maybe a 4-point system for a managed care patient. Whatever you want to do, as long as in the end is this, guys, you should get bonuses. But at the same time, as the company needs to make money so that we can keep on having our doors open to provide more services to pay the employees. There's no sense in just stacking all your money to this marketer that's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So create the expectations before and then your potential, what type of payment structure or bonus structure or salary you're going to give your marketer. Because there's no sense in then coming in and start hiring them and not even knowing what your pay structure is. Because just with your expectations and your pay structure, when you explain that to a marketer, you're going to be able to literally get rid of some of the ones who are potentially might be doing bad things for you. Because if they start saying, no, that's not going to work for me, then you say, hey, perfectly fine. I appreciate you coming in. Please grab a bottle of water in the door before you leave. Because if I'm already receiving a fence between us, just in the beginning stage, and you're saying no to my expectations, and like I'm telling you guys, those are the basic expectations, basic of 20 to 25 visits a day, basic 10 cold calls a day. And you can't even fathom to think that you can make just the basics. How are you supposed to excel in life, and how are you supposed to do more than hopefully what I want you to do? I want them to make 6 figures. I want them to make that $70,000 figure, let's say, or $80,000. But at the same time, why should I pay you that if I'm going to be coming short on my money? So create an expectations, create a pay scale, stick by them, and then start looking for your marketers out there. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep on watching the rest of the videos in this video series on how to be able to find the right marketer, hire a marketer, and monitor them as well. So if you like this video, make a comment down below, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon, be notified of any new videos coming up. Enjoy this video, enjoy your life, and at the same time, always understand that home health marketing is easy when you know what you are doing.